Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving Schools.
Hello and welcome to the last O Weather Town of 2024. Genuinely hope you had all great Christmas. You all had a great Christmas, obviously football aside. It's depressing, isn't it? Defeat of Bristol City and a last-gasp winner for Swansea meant no points over the festive period. I was kind of hoping we'd get at least one. And we got none. And all that's done is fueled the fans' opinions on the manager's future at Luton Town. It's very difficult to put into words how we're all feeling, but we're going to try and do that in a mo. We're going to talk about other issues. We've got your 3-word reviews and a little bit more, hopefully, and try and end it on a more positive note, because I've got this funny feeling tonight it's going to be a little bit difficult for all of us. And I'll talk about all of us. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that we've got a slightly different setup tonight due to the Christmas period. Steve's not here, Bataro's arrived, and on what's that called, Zoom, we've got Darren. Hi fellas, how you doing?
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, good thanks, mate.
It's a hard one. Firstly, let me ask you both had a good Christmas, I assume. Football aside.
Yeah, it's been all right. Not bad.
Did Santa bring you some nice...
A nice relaxing one for me for once, which was quite nice.
And did Santa bring you some nice gifts, fellas?
I mean, I'm wearing a set of socks I really like, to be fair.
A set of socks? Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Nice good effort.
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Stuff. There you go.
I thought Darren should have had the Grinch, shouldn't you? You should have those socks, mate.
I did get a retro Luton shirt, so I was made up.
Did you get the mash-up one you didn't like?
No,
I should have done that. I should have sent you that myself, to be fair.
The white one, which is very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah, the white one, I do like it. It's a difficult thing to sum up the two games, so we're going to try and sort of combine issues from both, if that's all right with you two. We won't specifically dwell on the whole of both games, because that would be ridiculous. So Bristol away and Swansea away. I don't know if they were sort of same possession-wise or whatever, but I thought we'd get a point from somewhere, and I generally thought that at Bristol, that was probably our best bet.
Well, tough one, isn't it? Tough one, boys. Yeah, I mean, look, you'd expect at least a point out of 2 games, out of possible 6, but... Yeah, it's a bit depressing, isn't it?
Oh, good God! If it's going to carry on like this, we can stop now. Darren,
did you take the Grinch role? No, I think you're right, Dave. I think looking at the fixtures, look, we needed to try and do something away from home, because it's been absolutely barren, and you kind of think by hook or crook we had to get something from one of them. And as they go, when you look at the fixtures, you think, well, there's a chance either or, to be honest, to get something. I don't think you're wrong thinking maybe even sneak a draw against one of them. But there we go.
I think when you look at our away performance record, I mean, it's been dire. Yeah, there's no other word for it. It's been poor. In fact, very poor. And some people could describe it even worse than I've just done. But I think we've only won at Millwall, haven't we? Yeah. But there are other teams that only won one this season away from home. They've got a couple of draws on top of that. And I think, performances aside, at Portsmouth I thought was unlucky. I thought at Preston we should have done better. I think we had a lot of possession there. But at Bristol, it took... We often say on this podcast, if you're going to lose a game, lose to a good goal. And so I can't take the strike away from Twine, but I can say the defending around him wasn't as good as you've expected it to be. Would you say that, Darren? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I would. And I'd probably include the keeper in that as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, sorry.
Kaminsky's been great for us this season, but was it savable? I don't know, but it was a great strike. Look, I like Scott Twine I know we were in for him a while back, weren't we? And for whatever reason, he decided not to come to us. And I think, look, I think Bristol City signed him for 4 or 5 million, and he's the kind of player you think, well, why didn't Luton go and get him this time round for 4 or 5 million? The difference that might have made to us. It was a great strike, but yeah, again, the defending all round was lackluster. I thought the attempt of a save was lackluster.
The ball
again, it was just all a bit meh, wasn't it? It just we've said it a few times with goals we've conceded about getting out to the player, making it difficult. We just don't. Again, we just, I don't know. Look, we're constantly told the players are putting in the effort. We just need to see it, and we see it sporadically. But just when one or two don't, it tends to lead to a goal, and that's exactly what happened with Bristol City.
Being at the game, I find it very hard to criticise Kaminsky for that goal. I don't. Where are you coming from on that one, Vatari?
Oh, see, I'll be honest. I think I agree with Darren on this one. I think the fact that it's near a post as well, and he's kind of cut across the ball. He's 20, 25 yards out. He's already over that side of the goal, isn't he? Let's face it. Yeah, I mean, look, mate, I don't think he was onside either, was he? By anything.
Well, he should have been. He should have been onside. There should have been a challenge in there.
This is what I'm saying. But
it was still a cracking shot. I mean, it flew in.
I mean, don't get it wrong. Everyone who knows, the thing is, like we said, the whole lacklustre pressing to try and win the ball back, or the fact if you give Scott Twine 5, 6, 7 yards of space, everyone knows this guy is probably the best striker of the ball in that division, and probably the best set piece taker. You can't let him shoot from there. That's what he's known for. He's known for scoring goals like that, or better goals, should I say? That's probably one of his poorer goals, I would say.
He'd come back from injury the game before. He came on as a sub to take a free kick, and he put it in the top corner. That's the level. And again, we talk about our players and everything, but that's the level of player. And you think if Bristol City can get that kind of level player, how have we not got that level of player? It reminds me a bit of Brownhill at Burnley. That kind of level. But I look, Kaminsky's got enough in the bank for us.
Yeah.
But maybe I need to watch it back. But I've watched it back a couple of times. I don't know. I think he could have done a little better.
I think he would be upset with himself for not saving it personally.
The general consensus from that game is we're sort of slow. We're slow away with the possession. We're slow at attacking. We needed that thing on, and it was quite apparent when Joe Taylor came on immediately. And as much as everybody's saying Joe Taylor's the saviour of this club at this moment in time up the front, I can't go down that route. But it was obvious for me to see that day, wasn't it, that he injected some pace, and then we immediately created a couple of good chances.
This is the thing that we lack. We don't have any pace. I think I said it last week or the week before. I think we don't have any pace in this squad. There is zero pace. I mean, you look at even up front. I mean, Morris, Adebayo. They're not runners. You know what I mean? They're not. What's the word? They're not. They're not quick. And your wide players as well. I mean, yes, we've got Chong, who's fairly quick. Who's playing left wing back at the moment. Who's, to be fair, he's quite quick. But then, apart from him, who else have we got on the flanks? Victor Moses is really slow.
I think when they did, sorry, Tara, I think when they did a questionnaire thing with the lads, I think they did something on Sky, and the quickest player was Mengi.
Oh, wow.
They voted Mengi, so the centre half's our quickest player, who's now out for the season. I think that says it all. All right, we had a season whatever with Ogbene, so we were spoilt a little bit there. But you're right, there's lack of pace. Not only physically, but the pace in the play as well. So, when you combine slow players with slow passing, it's just drab.
And as soon as it gets turned up and we get counter-attacked or whatever else happens, we just can't react to it because we're not quick enough. If you're going to get caught short and get countered or whatever, you need to have a bit of pace there, and we haven't got anything.
But we weren't last season, for instance. You wouldn't have said that we didn't have any pace in our team, would you?
Well, I'm trying to think who we had last season. Who played at left back for us? So Doughty, yeah, obviously he's out at the moment. He's fairly quick. We had him last season. Ogbene at right wing back. I think he played there quite a bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
I believe. Obviously, a lot of pace there. Who else we had? I mean, Lakonga in the middle. Not the quickest of players, but a lot more.
But when you
mobile
think
than
of the
what we've got.
counter-attack, I think of the Liverpool home game. But Barkley might not be the quickest, but he got the ball moving. You think we went from our area to Liverpool's area and squared it up to Chong, like you said, probably one of the next quickest. In a heartbeat. We just haven't seen that this season because there is no outlet. Was it Kabore involved in that?
Sorry, Kabore. He was also another one. I forgot about him as well.
Yeah, he might have had a little bit of pace to him, but I think it's the pace of moving that ball as well is what we're talking about. The pace of our play it's pedestrian at times. And Dave, you're saying. I know what people are saying. We don't know whether Joe Taylor's the saviour. We're not going to get to find out. Let's be honest. I'll be amazed if he doesn't go out on loan somewhere and in January. I just think give the lad a start. Give the lad more than a few minutes to see if something different will work. I think that's the frustrating thing. Why people want to see Taylor, because we just want to see something different.
Was he not on at the start or quite a long time at Preston away? I think he might have been on for quite a while there. But and then there are some days when I look at him, like I said, at Bristol City, when he came on, the difference was immediate with the way that the pace that we had to go forward.
And Derby at home, he came on. We scored two. I'm not saying he was directly involved. He did win the free kick, but the Derby home game, he came on. It changed things. It gets the crowd up a little bit because at least we're seeing something different.
The problem was I had a really good Christmas, and, and I'm sort of going away on Boxing Day thinking, well, it can't. This run we've on, it can't carry on. It can't carry on.
But it is.
But it has, and you walk away from that stadium thinking no disrespect to Bristol City, you have to caveat that at the very beginning of this sentence because they were no better than us, really, and we let them look a lot better than us. And they scored the one goal. Otherwise, it would have been a 0-0 Boxing Day fest, which would have been a bore, but a 1 point.
Dave, we've had 3 shots on target in 2 away games. One was one was Swansea where the keeper passed it to Morris, and the second one in the Bristol City game was in injury time. Woodrow should have scored, should have made the keeper work a lot harder at least. 3 shots on target, only 2 of them were generated by us in 2 games.
Disappointing. When you said that about Woodrow, I remember now. I just meant anywhere but wherever he kicked it. It was a full-on, one of those moments we go, here it is, we're going to score. And we didn't. And it's just like, and look, let's not dwell on Bristol City. Bristol City come and gone. So now you're thinking, well, Swansea away is a different thing. Shall we just start with some 3-word reviews from Swansea City to Luton Town 1? Got to be honest, don't make good reading, if I'm honest. Mark says, same old story. Gary, lacklustre display again. Daniel, playing like strangers. Russell, poor refereeing decision. I think we touched on that already. Justin, excuse me. Justin says, McGuinness getting better. Jess, boring to watch. J-Mo, huge transfer window. Toby, fans feeling disconnected. Becky says League One bound, and Colin and many, many, many others, enough is enough. Would you like to pick a couple or just, you know what, just pick one each?
Same old story, straight up there, because it is the same old story. I think every week now we come away and go, oh, well, it's no different, is it? I think we're getting kind of used to now being a bit poor.
We're not excited to go anymore, are we? I think that's the problem. We're not excited because the team's not performing well. Darren, what are you feeling?
Well, we touched on the fans there. Toby, fans feeling disconnected a little bit. But look, what are we expecting? The board don't need to come out and say anything. Edwards isn't going anywhere. So, I think Colin and many others, enough is enough. Now, whether that's the manager or whatever, I think we've just had enough of what's happening. and nobody's changing anything. The manager isn't going to change unless he walks, and I don't think they'll let him walk. Unless he walks, he's going nowhere, even though 2/3 of the fan base probably want him to. But for God's sake, change the tactics. Change something. How many times have we said about that quote about doing the same thing and expecting a different result? We spoke on the last pod. We've had 2 games since the last pod where we said stop playing Moses and Chong at wing backs. Yet again, I think I'm trying to remember thinking back. We watched the highlights briefly before I came on again. But Chong's fooling us with his new hairstyle, isn't he? But he gets beat for the header again. Their second goal, he gets beat for the header. So then that goes on. All right, Pelly didn't track his runner that well. But again, he's not a defender, and he's back there doing defensive stuff. He can't win his header. They get it, and they score.
Yes.
Given our current squad restraints, though, given our current injury list and our current quad restraints, who would you play there instead, or what would you do?
You say that, Dave, but I believe, was it Hashiok was back at the weekend? Who else was on the bench?
Bell was back, so you can go to a back 4. Bell can play left back.
I think Walters was back on the bench. I'm not saying that. Well, the thing I always say is, right, people probably say, "Oh, hang on a minute," but they're not match fit. They're not this and not that. If they're not match fit, why the fuck are they on the bench then?
Well, because they will get some minutes if it was appropriate to do so. Maybe they can't do 90 minutes. Do you put them on beginning and take them off, or do you put them on halfway through? That's a tactical question, isn't it?
We had Bell and Johnson. We had Bell and Johnson on the pitch. They can both play left back. Go to a 4 at the back. Do something different. That's all we want.
Yeah.
And then if we still lose at that, then okay, it's the level of player or whatever. This constant playing his wing backs, and look, we can go right back to early on in the season when me particularly, I was moaning. I didn't like it. I didn't like it after Celta Vigo pre-season. I didn't like it after Burnley. I can't believe here we are at the end of the year in the position we're in, and he's still doing it. I just, it's whether he's a manager, he's a coach. What are these? You can have as many coaches, as many heart rate monitors, as many GPS things to see how many runs they make, how many passes they make. You can have all that tech in the world, and it's blinding them from not seeing what's actually happening on the pitch, which is rubbish. Just watch the football, and it's rubbish. All these statisticians, all this staff we've got, what the hell are they doing?
Okay, I told you it's going to be a difficult one this evening, didn't I?
I think he's got a point, to be fair, though. That's the thing, because it is very poor. And I will not listen to certain things that are being said about, the players are giving 100% and they're doing this, they're doing that, because I genuinely don't feel like they are. I'm not saying it's the players. I'm not saying it's the I think it's a combination of both.
It's a difficult question to ask, but fans are disconnected. Why do we feel disconnected? Obviously, the games aren't going very well. But when have the fans ever had a say in how the team plays?
Well, we never have.
So how can you reconnect the fans in this way? If you sack your manager, that's going to please some of the fans, but not all of the fans.
I don't think it'll please fans realistically, because you look at it, I think obviously everyone loves Rob Edwards. Do you know what I mean? We all love him, but like you say, something does need to change. I would we keep saying the same thing over and over again. A bit like Rob doesn't change the tactics. It's a bit of insanity going on. We say the same thing every single week. And what do we say? What do we say, gents? Does anyone know?
Going on
about displays and stuff.
Well, all I'm going to ask you this one, I'll ask Darren, because he sort of raised it earlier about the post-match interviews, for instance. What are you expecting Rob to say? What he needs to do is, let me ask this a different way. Does he need to continue, in inverted commas, protecting his players by saying what he's saying, or if he says the opposite of that, how does that help the situation?
I think there's 2 elements to it, Dave. For me, I think look, we know Rob was having a hard time. He looked down and out, and I was saying, someone give him a break. Someone literally give him a couple of weeks off, because he looked at the end. he's obviously gone off and he's seeking help, which has given him a bit more confidence and everything else. But it seems to have turned him a bit delusional, because the last two games, I don't think he's talking about the game we've just played, that we've just watched, because that is nothing like the game I just watched. We were the better team. We had one shot on target, and that's because their keeper passed it to our striker 12 yards out.
Did he not say we were the better team in the second half? And he did acknowledge how good Swansea were.
Team. We didn't have a shot on target. How can you be the better? What is it? You don't win 3 points for keep ball. You don't. You win 3 points from scoring more goals than the opposition. You don't. You won't score if you can't get a shot on target. How he can come out and say we were the better team? Do you know how his interviews have changed? Is very much like Ten Hag before he left, was booted out of Man United. You know, he would come out and give a line, almost hoping that the board go, "Oh no, he's right. Yeah, no, maybe we were the better team. Maybe we were this. Maybe we were that." But the fans won't buy it. You know, I'd rather him come out and, if he honestly thinks that's truthful, then then probably I do want him to go. Because if he generally thinks we were the better team against Swansea, I don't know what he's thinking. If he's saying it because if you know, he doesn't want the down and out feel that we had early in the season, fine. But don't come out and say we're the better team when we haven't generated a shot on target ourselves.
Batari, what does Rob have to do to turn this around? Because he's not going anywhere just yet.
I think we just said it. He's changed the tactics, and he needs to recruit very well in January. Otherwise, it's not going to change.
The January transfer window clearly is something that we need to be. Well, this needs to be the best transfer window we've ever had.
The thing is, though, Dave, we don't just need one or two. I think we need 4 or 5.
Well, there's no telling that. We don't know how many's coming in. So I'm going to say, if we have the transfer window that we all want to have, then do you give him some more time?
Well, I think yes. I mean, of course, but if he wants to change the whole style of the play, which he's tried to do, but maybe these players don't work for that, so therefore he needs to then go out and get his own players. If that's what he believes, I don't know if that's what he believes, but I'm pretty sure that's what he would believe. Give him the time, and if he can turn it around with the style of football that he's trying to play, and he can change it and get a few out and then get quite a few in, then maybe give him some time. But if it doesn't work after the first 6-8 weeks, then I'm sorry, but time's up then.
Darren, if we get out of this, what people think that we're in, and you look at the table, you can see where we are, a relegation scrap right at this moment in time. Things have changed in the past for other teams. So we stay up. We don't get promoted. We stay up. Do you keep the same manager?
I think it depends what, same as Batara's just been saying there. If he's going to stick with how he wants to play, we need much better footballers. If he's going to play wing backs and everything, we need much better footballers. Now, he might be knocking on their door saying, look, we don't know, do we? So he's maybe knocking on the door saying, you've got to back me in January. You've got to back me in the summer. You know, you give me a 4-year contract. Now give me the players I need to play the football that I want, because the current crop can't play that style of football. They're not good enough. So if he gets 2 windows that he wants and the club back him, which I don't think they've got a choice but to do that right now, because we say about the disconnection. If they don't back him in January and in the summer, there is going to be uproar. You know, people are really talking poorly of Gary Sweet. And I know, look, again, talking about people that have got stuff in the locker, you know, Gary Sweet's got plenty in the locker for getting us here. But then don't undo all that hard work by not backing the manager you've just given a 4-year contract to. So I think Batara is right. I think we're talking 4 or 5 in January and another 4 or 5 in the summer. I
think he will be backed as well. I genuinely do think he'll back him.
And parachute payments last a little bit longer than one season.
The trouble we've got in January is, look, we know we're at a full squad. We know Peters is only until halfway through January, but Fane would take his place. So if it is going to be 4 in, that means 3 have got to go. Now, we know Taylor's probably going to go out on loan. So he's got to send 2 more out to get 2 more in. Who else goes out? So it's a big. I can't remember who said it earlier. The JMO, huge transfer window. He's actually right. Maybe we should have picked that. It is huge from the board's point of view, because they've got to show they're backing this manager, or else if not, they've thrown him under a bus.
Okay, I just want to address the point of the board, because I think it's important that we do state that what they've done for this club is amazing.
Yeah, of course.
And you can't dismiss that. Whether you like Gary Sweet or not is none of my business, right? And I don't mean that about you, Darren. I mean anyone who's listening or watching.
I like Gary. I've met him a bunch of times. I like Gary.
Yeah, so what he's done for this club has been outstanding. He's not going to let this club go stupidly astray. He's not. And I'm saying that the board are behind Rob, whether you agree with that or not, then they're going to surely fund him in the window. Surely.
I'm just hoping it's a confidence thing as well with players at the moment. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe it's like a rot that's set in, like we've said before, and hopefully that's what it is. And then, maybe we get a break somewhere along the line, and it will change, hopefully. But I think it's not going to change until we get a few more faces in with a bit more athleticism and a bit more pace.
The sadness for me is that fans, like Toby said, fans feeling disconnected, but there's sort of infighting as well between the fans. There's people being called all sorts because they want Rob to stay. There are other people going, well, you can't see it, he needs to go. I can sit on the fence if I want, but then I'm told off about that. So I don't like all the backbiting internally. But when we play Norwich, New Year's Day, if Norwich go in front, the atmosphere at Kenilworth Road could be really toxic, couldn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately it could be. And that's the problem. I think if it does go toxic, then I think obviously the players are going to pick up on that.
So don't we need the exact opposite of that?
Yes, but trying to get yourself up for it, Dave, when it's really difficult at the moment and we're not seeing great things, it's very difficult for the fans as well. Like I said, we pay our money for this to go and watch, and it's, okay, admittedly, we will support and keep supporting. Like I said, I would never boo. I would never do anything like that. I will never say, obviously I say ridiculous things as it is anyway, but I won't say things that obviously get him out, because nothing like this. Obviously, like I said, I love the guy. Appreciate everything he does for the club, and like I say, the board as well, brilliant. But they do need to have a look at something, because we can't keep doing the same thing. It's a form of, it is insanity.
It's that, you're right, we pay our money and we want, we've said it before, where I think the players, we need something to cheer about. And like I said, the away games, now, I didn't go to the away games. I know you went to Bristol, Dave. But like we said, if you're not having a shot on target, what actually are you getting excited for? At what stage in that game do you get excited?
Well, to some extent, though, there will be people that wasn't excited by 2 last-minute goals to win at home. And
but at least you're going home and something's happened.
But there are people that are saying, well, I wish we'd have lost it. And that's not how you should be, should it?
No. But look, what was the Liverpool West Ham? Yes, was it yesterday?
What, the 5-0?
What date we're on? It's Christmas. So what did they lose? 5-0.
Yeah.
But they hit the post twice.
Wow.
The keeper made 2 blinding saves. Okay, West Ham fans going home going, all right, we lost 5-0 to probably the team that's going to win the league. But they've hit the post a couple of times. The keeper's made a couple of good stops. They've had a couple of attacks. At least they've had some excitement in that game. We are getting no excitement because we're having 1 shot on target a game.
Yeah, that is the point.
There's no excitement.
That is the point. We are creating absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What's he
There's
got
no
to do?
creativity. There's nothing there. It's just...
If you walk away from a game losing 2-0 and you go, but you just missed that one. What a save from their keeper.
Mm-hmm.
We battered them but lost 2-0. At least you've got something to buy into.
Well, I think we did that all.
They're not giving us anything to buy into at the moment.
I think we did that all Premier League season, didn't we? We'd go to a game, we knew we weren't going to win, we'd make the best of it. And the team was really on it. They were really on it.
The thing is, right, we're sitting here saying the same things over and over again. We can not even talk about chance that we've created or anything, because there is nothing to talk about. This is the point. We've been sat here for 29 pissing minutes. No, I'm sorry, 29 minutes. We've just sat here saying the same old shite. It is so true. I'm getting a bit bored. Can we wrap this up soon, please?
Yeah,
It's doing my head in. Honestly.
The worry is we look at what's coming up. So we've got Norwich at home. It's going to be tough. And actually, our home form isn't bad, but it's going to be tough.
Hey, listen, our home form is not bad at all, to be fair. It's our away form, but then again, you can look at other clubs and look at their away form, and it's excruciatingly as bad as ours.
Yeah, but I'm looking at what's coming up. You've got Norwich at home, which is going to be tough. If we get anything from them, we'd be delighted. You go down to QPR, who have found a little bit of form, and our away form's terrible.
That's quite annoying, isn't it?
So there's Forest in the cup, and then suddenly you're getting towards the end of January.
Preston and Oxford. Right.
Well, that's when you've got to go, right, we need to start getting something.
I'm dreading Queen's Park Rangers away. I generally don't know if I'm going to pay 38 quid or whatever it is to go there. But I'm going to Nottingham Forest because I feel that, they might put a weakened team out. How stupid am I?
Oh, God, Dave. Yeah, stop it now. Come on. He's had too much beer at Christmas and too much cheese. It's clotted his arteries.
They're going to be concentrating on the league, aren't they? I mean, I can't believe where they are.
If you talk about Nottingham Forest, though, and you talk about how ridiculed they were, really, for the amount of money they spent in 2 seasons to stay up. And now look what they're doing. Do you wish that we'd done the same?
No, because it's a massive gamble, isn't it? I mean, they nearly went down the season beforehand, didn't they?
But the gamble's paid off for them right now.
But it's paid off for them, but not Ipswich. So it's a tricky. They spent the money, but they still had Hudson-Odoi's, the Gibbs White,
But when Nottingham Forest when Steve Cooper got them promoted, they literally almost changed the whole squad.
I think they signed something like 24 players.
The whole squad. Do you think, had we done the same, would we been happy getting rid of all those players that got us there?
Nope.
And then had the season that was really tough, and the second season where they sort of without us being in it. They might not have stayed up. You never know.
The thing is, though, we did nearly stay up. That's the point. We did nearly stay up.
So what I'm saying is, would you prefer to have done what Nottingham Forest done? Is blow all the money, not have the stadium for the future, and be in the Premier League?
Not.
You would have the stadium for the future because you stayed up. You got another year in the Premier League, another 150 million. So you do have the stadium, and you stayed up.
But not if you spent 200 million on players. It's all silence.
See, this is the thing. I'd never wanted to do what Forest did. Keep our identity as well, at least. I love the way we've done things. Maybe not the way we're doing things at the moment on the pitch, but yeah, I'm loving it still.
We kind of need to do a Forest of 3 years ago because they were bottom in the Championship when Cooper took over this time 3 years ago. Like you said, they completely rebuilt, and I think we're now at a complete rebuild stage.
Am I wrong? And you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought I read somewhere, and I can't remember if I'm honest because it's a couple of years ago. Our promotion season, we weren't that far up the table when we started that run to get us into the playoffs. I'm not saying we can do that now.
So when Edwards took over, you mean that stage?
Yeah.
I think we
13th.
13th. I think 11th, 13th, something like that.
13th. Where we now? 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we look at look, okay, I know it's difficult. I don't want to say who's in, who's out. Do you want Rob in or Rob out? I don't want to do that. But what I want to do is, can he turn it around? Can he turn it around with the transfer window? And should the fans get off his back a bit?
Tough one.
I think as fans, saying get off his back a bit, because it's just wasted air because he's going nowhere. He's here for the season, no matter what. So it's just pointless, absolutely pointless. So getting off his back. Can he turn it around? Well, I think we said this a couple of podcasts ago. I'm not sure he can. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure what his coaching staff are doing with him, what they're telling him. I don't know. So okay, he's got this way that he wants to play with this 5 at the back, wing backs and everything. And like we said, you need a whole lot better players to play that. Even with better players, do they create more than one chance a game? You'd like to think, but if they don't, then no. Then I don't like his football. So can he turn it around? I guess we're going to find out. The board need to back him, give him 4 or 5 players, 4 or 5 in the summer, and then this time next year we'll see where we are with his style of type of player. If they don't back him and he don't get his type of player, we're in big danger of going down.
Okay, it's getting to the point where I'm so depressed watching the games. I am genuinely. I go to the games and I come away and I just feel a little bit down that we're not performing. You're right, Darren, the style of play. Sometimes I think we're unlucky. Other times I think we're inept. And other times I feel that, a little bit more pace would do us well. So, bearing all my things in mind, I need to ask you for your Norwich predictions. And so, Norwich predictions if you can. I'll tell you what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for a New Year's Day miracle of Luton Town 3, Norwich 0.
Christ.
I'm confident, because this is going to put the kibosh on it. We've only lost one of our last 7 games on New Year's Day.
Okay, there we go.
And also, you're hoping that the other opposition have got a hangover. Let's be fair, because Batara, I know, guaranteed you will.
No, 100%.
So I'm going for 3-0. We'll get the others up. We haven't got Jacobs or Steve, so we'll ask them separately.
I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
I will go for a 3-1 loss, 3-1 Norwich.
There we go.
I can mute you from now on if that's okay.
You need to shoot to score. I like the fact you think we're going to score 3, and we've only had 3 shots on target in our last 2 games.
Well, you know what?
I hope you're right. I so hope you're right.
Optimistic Dave. That's what you need to call me, Optimistic Dave. Look, we're heading towards the new year. 2024 has been, as a football fan, as a Luton Town fan, the first part in the Premier League was fun, although disappointing that we didn't stay up. But the second part of this year has been really poor. So personally, football aside, I hope you both really have a good 2025. But what do you feel? What would you hope for the football in 2025? I'll start with you, Darren, if that's all right.
Just a bit of stability, I think. We just all need to settle down. We've had this roller coaster for so many years, and the Premier League and everything else. But I think it'd be disastrous if we go down. And I think that if we just become a mid-table championship club for a few seasons till we're in that ground, then I think we'd all be delighted. You win as many games as you lose, and so probably we just need to settle, get a bit of stability, get the fans, the board, the manager, the players all back on side, a little bit happier, and just plod along for a little while. I think that'd be absolutely fine.
And Batara, I'll put the same question to you. What's your hopes for 2025 at Luton Town?
I hope, well, personally, I'm going to give a personal one first. I hope personally for myself to actually enjoy going to football again, not dread it. And obviously for the club, I just hope that we actually play some nice, attractive football and give it 100% every week like we used to, because I feel like that's what we're about and we're not doing it at the moment.
My hope for this and the podcast is that we can be a little bit happier when we're talking. That would be much more fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
If you've managed to get to this end, this part of the podcast, I really thank you for listening. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all your support in 2024. Everybody who said hello, everybody who subscribed and liked us on YouTube. If you haven't done that already, please go and do that. If you're on Spotify and listening, have a little plod across to YouTube and have a look at there, and you can see how good looking we all are. And I genuinely really, really hope that you have a fantastic New Year's Eve, have a fantastic evening of celebration, and that continues on New Year's Day. We'll be back after the Norwich game. We'll have a full house, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Happy New Year, people.